Hello everyone. In this quick video, just consider it fair warning. I've been obviously looking at the markets regularly, several times a day for months now, and it does look like I think there's a dump incoming. If you look at Bitcoin, and I discussed this recently in my video where we talked about symmetrical triangle and which way it can break out. We're breaking out down. We've retested it as well, and you can see. Just with the naked eye, you don't need to do any fancy analysis. I mean, volume is increasing a bit here, selling pressure, but also you see in this curved look going down. Crypto does that. You see this in altcoins sometimes as we're readying for a dump. Obviously, we've broken this trend line as well. You can always get fake outs. So we can get a dump and then we can get, let's say we go down further, we can get underneath here and then just spring back. Because next week, remember, after New Year, we're going to get a lot of the proper volume coming in again. So a lot of people who trade stock markets, stuff like that, they'll be all back and volume will slowly increase. So that's what I'm hoping. I'm hoping we have a dump, but it's a smaller dump to under 40,000 and then we push back up. But in all of the altcoins, these things do get kind of, not, I wouldn't say obvious, but you can clearly see here Cardano as well. I was trading it for the breakout. It's failed. Like I said, you get a lot of fake outs and stuff. As soon as it fails, pull out. And it doesn't look like it's going to go anywhere. And this is all now definitely corrective looking, which means it needs to resolve itself. And the way it usually does that is by breaking back below these lows, resetting, and then starting upwards again. Let's have a look at another couple. This one's actually Bitcoin Cash. Would look like it was, some volume would come in and it was going to do some sort of pump, and then it was looking like it might break out. That's failed too. And then these important support levels are breaking down. This is Polkadot, where it's a similar kind of thing. You're almost getting a lot of kind of head and shouldery type patterns. And this is FET, which was generally corrective, consolidating, but now it's failing, it's getting that curved motion again, and now it's barely holding on to support levels, increased selling pressure, a bit of volume associated with it as well. And like I said, if it does move down, it may not move down miles. It's just you don't know with crypto, especially because we've moved up so far, as I mentioned recently. A couple of others that really didn't do well this time around, but I'm just mentioning them because, again, just looking at the setup. So this is Mana USD, so Decentraland. This looked like it hit another high, a new high actually, it's looking like. Yeah, this was a new high on the 25th. And it was a very weak kind of push to all-time highs with no volume at all. And then since then, lower highs all along the way. So clear downtrend established. And now we're going to start hitting important support levels and breaking through these levels. So again, neckline, almost like a head and shoulder formation again. Near USDT, same thing. Push down. I'm on a very small time frame. And when you like scroll out and you look at a daily time frame, nothing looks that bad. It looks like, oh, we're just getting a little correction off the low, off the highs. But that's why you always have to jump onto a smaller time frame if you want to catch things early. The reason it's so important to me to catch things early is because when we have these dumps, usually if you can kind of sound the alarm early, you might be down 2, 3%, 5% at most, but you don't end up down 40%. And people holding, not checking the markets, especially during this time with a lot of bank holidays and stuff like that, they completely miss it and they get caught out. Solana had a really, really good run, as you all know, and it tried to pull off again, but a very weak recovery. And yeah, it barely got to the 38.2. So if you actually have a look at the reaction here, it barely got to the 38.2. It didn't even get back to the 618, and it's already pulling back. Again, we don't know what's going to happen for sure, but looks like trend lines forming here, and there's a decent probability, I would say, with a bit more selling pressure, that this could also dump as well, because it did move up very, very quickly. And you can see it's already broken through this support level, which I showed you guys a couple of videos ago. This is GRT, so graph. Again, a kind of weak push up going into Christmas, where we managed to just eke out a new high, and it looked like a 5-wave move, which is impulsive, which is good. But again, it looks like a topping pattern forming. And you've got a couple of necklines. You've got a simple one here that seems to have broken down. But then the important structure here would be this NUC, this 14 level. We want to kind of hold above that if we can, if we do get a dump, get support, and let's see if we can get a next leg up. But I mean, generally it's been weak anyway. You see from 6th of November, it's kind of weakly gone up. So this wouldn't be one that I would be interested in anyway, should it get a bounce. It would be something like Fetch if I was going after an AI coin. But yeah, that's that's the video basically. Just be very, very careful. I'm seeing a lot of the topping patterns in a lot of different altcoins. Now, again, what I'm hoping with all the altcoins, especially Bitcoin will lead the way, is if we break down, which is not the end of the world, it's a short breakdown and it's a correction and we move back up. However, be very patient. If that does happen, be very patient getting back in and rushing back in, because you never know, these things could be prolonged. There's all this news, there's a lot of volume coming in as well. You've got all the ETF stuff, a lot of stuff going on. So even here, you can see we're pushing back in a kind of hammer candle here, but the selling pressure is decent. So I would much rather, yes, we could absolutely just pop off from here. It's not like beyond the realms of possibility. It's just looking less and less likely with the weight of evidence. And also, why the rush to kind of jump in? Wait for everything to kind of resolve itself, and maybe even just wait until next week to see where we're at before jumping in again, because a lot of you will be in profit, and the most important thing is not actually making profit, it's actually holding on to the profit. Thanks for listening.